morning fog clung to the pines like a secret as we stepped into a world where every snap of a twig could mean adrenaline or advantage. This was not a leisurely walk in the woods. This was an all-out test of skill, patience, and teamwork against some of the smartest, toughest wild boars you'd ever meet. In these woods, wild boars blend into the brush like ghosts, moving with a cold intelligence that forces hunters to sharpen every sense. They're not just game to be checked off a list. They're an opponent that demands strategy, grit, and respect for the land. We didn't come to prove anything to strangers. We came to prove to ourselves that we could outthink an animal, adapted to survive in the thickest cover. Gear checked, rifles zeroed, dogs ready, and radios tuned. We split into silent positions as the sun burned the last of the mist away. The first scent hit me like a memory I couldn't forget. The metallic, earthy tang that announces boar, and before I knew it, a shot cracked through the air, clean and exact. A massive boar charged like a freight train, and our first hit stopped it cold. That instant set the tone for the day. Fast, dangerous, and unforgiving, but also intensely satisfying. We pushed deeper, moving deliberately, letting the hounds do what they do best: flush and hold. Their barking became the rhythm of the hunt. Warning and encouragement rolled into one. When Jay got a point-blank opportunity, he didn't hesitate. His shot ended that animal's run, the kind of teamwork you rehearse for, but rarely achieve perfectly. These boars are clever. Whether traveling solo or in sounders, they use thick undergrowth as armor, slip between sight lines, and react to the smallest human error. So we adapted, split into vantage points, covered escape routes, and timed our moves like a well-drilled team. It didn't take long for another silhouette to step into view. One sharp shot, and the boar dropped as if the forest itself let out a breath. From the west, Jay's deliberate bursts confirmed our plan was working. Coordinated pressure makes the smart ones fold. When the herd bolted south through a tangle of oaks and briars, we called in coordinates and put Nick on an intercept. He steadied, took the shot, and that moment patience, a calm breath, and a perfect trigger pull paid off. Hunting these animals isn't about brute force. It's about timing, communication, and respecting the danger in every choice you make. Every time I felt my sights find a target, a river of pride ran through me. Those hours of dry fire practice, late-night mapping of terrain, and long hikes with a pack finally added up to clean, ethical shots and quick dispatches that spared unnecessary suffering. forest pushed back with low visibility and tricky lines of fire, but we stayed methodical, sweeping every shadow, clearing every thicket until another boar gave itself away and fell among the ferns. Sweat, grins, and the cracked echo of rifles told the story as the sun climbed higher. Today wasn't luck. It was a reward for relentless training and seamless teamwork. Then we changed the game. After dominating the understory on foot, we took to the skies. Helicopters are a controversial but effective tactic in large-scale hog control. From above, you get a tactical edge you can't replicate on foot, an aerial perspective of torn fields, ripped fences, and the fast, erratic runs of sounders trying to escape. The rotors thundered, gunfire echoed through valleys, and suddenly the landscape looked less like a maze and more like a map. From the chopper, you spot tracks that would be invisible on the ground, and you can pin a target before it dives back into cover. That view is brutal and beautiful. Farmland shredded by rooting pigs, soils churned like a storm passed through. I gripped my rifle, frustration and focus braided together, waiting for that split second where skill meets opportunity. It came fast, a headshot from a moving platform. A bullet that landed true, and though chopper hunting is costly, when you're dealing with large herds devastating crops and spreading disease, it can be the tool that turns the tide. The roar of the blade sends boars into panic. The chaos below is a test of nerves as much as marksmanship. Miss once, and the target disappears into a thicket. Adjust and make the next one count. As the herd scattered, the scene descended into a blur of thundering hooves, flying dirt, and tactical radio calls. Shots rang out in rapid succession. Some brought down animals. Some were deflections against a frantic backdrop. But you could feel the hunt tightening into a crescendo. A brutal symphony of man, machine, and wild animal. We landed in a trashed field west of the village and took stock. The damage was real. Fences ruined, planted rows uprooted, and one lone stray dog pacing hundreds of yards off. Standard rifles wouldn't reach that distance cleanly. Long-range thinking meant switching to optics and patience, measuring wind, and waiting for the perfect window. Across the day, we alternated tactics, footwork and brush, flanking passes with hounds, and coordinated aerial tracking, each approach feeding the other, each success teaching a lesson for the next encounter. Safety and ethics were always front of mind. Quick, humane shots, working within local regulations, and minimizing suffering while addressing a serious pest problem that threatens livelihoods and ecosystems. For hunters, and for the farmers whose fields were being ravaged. This is about stewardship as much as skill. Reducing the destructive population of feral hogs helps protect crops, livestock, and native habitats. By sunset, we were tired but satisfied. The physics of the hunt had been met with the chemistry of a team that knows how to read land and animal alike. The trophies weren't just the animals taken. They were the quiet nods of teammates who trust each other. The repaired gate we left with a plan for rebuilding, and the knowledge that the landscape would breathe easier for a while.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.